They say heartbreak humbles even the proudest throne. But in the kingdom of Ndara, one princess didn't just heal. She came back with fire. Princess Aluoma of Ndara was not born delicate. She was bold. Laughed with her whole chest. She rode horses like a warrior and danced like the wind. But she was also full-bodied. Soft in all the places the world judged. She was the kind of princess who filled a room, and not just with her voice, but with her size. Her people adored her. Her father, King Ajuwale, had built an empire of trade and education around her future marriage. The match was perfect. Prince Ifediora, graceful, handsome, poised to inherit the neighboring kingdom of Okemba. Everyone knew they would wed. Until they didn't. Their first meeting was awful. Not in a dramatic, shouting kind of way, but in a quiet, uncomfortable kind that leaves something broken inside a person without anyone else noticing. Aluoma had been excited. Curious, even. She'd heard the prince was arriving for a brief tour ahead of the choosing ceremony. All she wanted was to make a good impression. Not to flirt or compete, just to be seen as she was, joyful, kind, and ready to serve her kingdom. She had chosen a simple gown that day. Nothing extravagant. Her hair was woven neatly, and her face bare, save for a touch of shea butter. She waited in the royal garden, tossing bits of yam peel into the pond for the koi fish, something she'd done since she was a child. Then he walked in. Prince Ifediora was tall, dressed in light blue agbada that moved like smoke when he walked. He was surrounded by aides but dismissed them with a wave when he spotted her. His eyes swept over the garden, landed on her, and for a brief moment, something unreadable passed through his face. He walked up slowly, and instead of a warm greeting or a proper royal bow, he said, "Oh, forgive me. I thought you were one of the kitchen girls." Aluoma laughed. Lightly, at first. Maybe it was a joke. "Ah, no. I only steal their yam peels," she replied, holding one up playfully. But he didn't laugh. He smiled, but the kind of smile that doesn't touch the eyes. And then he said something she would carry like a stone in her heart. "You're more radiant than I expected." They didn't exaggerate your presence. She knew what he meant. He didn't say the word, but she heard it anyway, big. And just like that, the joy she had brought with her into that garden dimmed. She smiled politely, said nothing more, and watched him stroll away like he hadn't just peeled a layer off her confidence. That night, she sat before her mirror for hours. Her usual gowns looked different now, suddenly too tight, too loud. Her arms looked fuller. Her face rounder. She opened her mother's old wooden chest and took out the coral waist beads, the ones her mother wore when her father first fell in love with her. She wrapped them around her waist, not for beauty, but for comfort. To feel like she belonged to something royal. To something once loved. Maybe this will make me look more worthy, she whispered to herself. A small part of her, just a corner of her spirit, questioned what she had never doubted before, if she could ever be enough. The other part was positive. Yes, his words had stung, no matter how lightly he'd said them. But she also knew people often judged too quickly. Especially princes who'd grown up in palaces where beauty meant silence, slimness, and a delicate laugh that didn't shake the room. That part of her hoped that with time, he'd see more. He hadn't looked at her the way she'd dreamed, not with warmth, not with softness, but she held on to something firmer than looks, character. She told herself, let him speak with me a few more times. Let him see how I carry others. Let him see how I understand this land, how I respect our ancestors, how I listen to the hearts of people when others only hear their voices. She wasn't the kind of girl who fluttered eyelashes or pouted lips. No. She was the one who remembered the names of every gatekeeper, who helped the cook's son pass his arithmetic, who left bowls of water by the trees for wandering spirits. He may not love me now, she thought, but he'll come to. Because true love is not always thunder. Sometimes it is a slow fire, and I know how to keep it burning. It was a fragile hope, but it was enough to make her stand tall the day of the choosing ceremony, heart trembling beneath her royal green blouse, but still believing, somewhere deep inside, that goodness would be enough. The royal choosing ceremony was the most sacred tradition in both kingdoms. It was supposed to seal alliances, unite legacies. Aluoma dressed in green lace and coral beads that day. She even wore the waist beads her mother had passed down, believing, foolishly, they would make her feel worthy enough. But when the prince walked in, he did not take her hand. He took the hand of Nkiru, the palace maid. Gasps scattered across the palace like shattered glass. Even the doves in the rafters fluttered in disbelief. Nkiru bowed, quiet and meek, as though unaware she had just ignited a scandal that would drown a dynasty. Prince Ifediora smiled gently, declaring, "Love does not bow to tradition. I choose her." Aluoma didn't scream. She stood tall, turned, and walked out, her shoulders straight, her face unreadable. But that night, she tore her coral beads off and cried until her body shook like thunder in the hills. The newspapers couldn't stop talking. Chubby princess dumped for skinny maid. Royal love turns upside down. The elders took away all of Aluoma's royal duties. They told her to go rest at the mountain retreat in their mansion house, but it wasn't rest. It was a soft way to send her away. Back at the palace, Nkiru started wearing shiny silk dresses to meetings. She copied Aluoma's laugh, her walk, even how she turned her head when she spoke. The people who once loved Aluoma now gave all that love to someone pretending to be her. But up in the mountains, Aluoma changed. She woke up before the sun. She ran along the rocky paths. She trained with hunters. She secretly read books about leadership and peace, books she had taken from the royal library. And she cried. Every single day. Until one day. She didn't cry. That day, she looked in the mirror and saw something new. Not a woman trying to be skinny so others would want her, but a woman growing stronger so no one could ever break her again. Back at the palace, Nkiru, now called Queen Consort, became bold and fearless. She didn't show respect to anyone anymore. She treated the palace workers like trash. She ruined important trade deals, fooled the elders, and wore the kingdom's gold like it meant nothing. Even Prince Ifediora started to feel uneasy. He wondered if he had made the wrong choice. But his pride stopped him from saying it out loud. Then one night, he found out the truth. He caught Nkiru writing secret letters to King Akuma, one of their greatest enemies. She was planning to run away. She wanted to take the kingdom's gold and leave him behind. That same week, trouble hit the kingdom hard. Markets failed. The people were angry. And as they talked about how things used to be better, one name kept coming up. Aluoma. The king called Aluoma back to the palace. She arrived wearing the most stunning princess dress anyone had ever seen. But more than that, she wore power. Her body looked different now, stronger. But it was her spirit that had truly changed. She didn't just walk in, she owned the room. The palace fell silent. Nkiru, sitting proudly on the throne, gave a fake laugh. "Came to beg for your title back?" she said. Aluoma just smiled. "I didn't come to beg. I came to take what's mine." Then the truth came out. Nkiru's letters. Her betrayal. The hidden room full of stolen gold. The guards turned to Nkiru. And for the first time, they didn't bow to her. They bowed to Aluoma. Prince Ifediora stood still, his face full of shame. "I was wrong," he whispered. "We can fix this. Start again." But Aluoma gave a quiet laugh, calm but strong. And not anyone's second choice. Not even a king's. Nkiru screamed as the guards dragged her away. Her crown hit the ground and rolled across the floor. Aluoma didn't go back to rule from the old palace. Instead, she built a new one in the mountain. She started a royal school where she taught young girls how to be queens, with or without a crown. One day, a man came into her life. He was quiet, humble. His name was Okena, a former war medic. He didn't shy away from the scars of her past. He didn't call her beautiful like she was some prize. He loved her for her heart, her strength, her fire. In a world that once laughed at her, he became her calm. One rainy night, under a mango tree by her home, he got on one knee and said, "I know you don't need me. But can I walk beside you for the rest of your life?" And for the first time in a long time, Aluoma said yes. Not because she was lonely, but because she was finally whole. The princess they once threw away became the woman kings feared and children looked up to. She didn't need a crown to be royal. She was the kingdom. And the throne that once cast her out now bowed every time she walked past. Because people forget. You can't take the crown from a true queen. You can only delay her rise. The end. 1. Your worth isn't defined by others' opinions. Aluoma was mocked and rejected, but she chose to grow stronger, not smaller. True value comes from within, not from titles or approval. 2. Power is more than a crown, it's purpose. Aluoma built her own legacy, taught others, and led with wisdom and heart. Leadership is about impact, not position. 3. Healing doesn't require perfection, it requires strength. She found love not when she changed for others, but when she fully accepted herself. Real love respects who you are, scars and all. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more captivating stories. Make sure to watch our videos till the end to support us. Your views keep us going.